Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Okay, we have another video here. This is a 2011 Mini Cooper. This is the R56, and it has the complaint with this car, it has multiple misfires and ran, a rough idle, especially when it's cold. Then it warms out, it goes away. So it has all those codes in there, but that's not what I'm going to show in here. The main concern this one is, or process that I did for diagnosis, is these cars are well known to failure on the high pressure pump, but what you got to do is wait for the car to be cold completely, use your scanners. Hopefully is I have the OEM scanners, and the Snap-on does it well with this one too. At least it gets the fuel pressure on the rail. That's what you're looking for to check. So I went ahead and set up the scanner, start the car, make sure that you keep the desired pressure and the actual pressure to be very close, no less than 5 MPa megapascals. And this is like around this car is actually running around 8 megapascals, which is around 1700 psi. It's a high pressure system, so, and it keeps it very well. It actually goes up a little, which means we don't have a lack of pressure or lack of fuel. And I checked the coils, I checked the spark plugs, everything is normal. I even put extension on the coil. The coils are very easy to access on this car. All you gotta do is remove this. You put this on the side. So what I did is the misfires on these cars are in cylinder 4 and cylinder 3, which is our 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So what I pretty easy to do is I move the coil and the spark plugs from cylinder 2 to cylinder 4 just to do a test. The thing didn't change. They're very easy to remove. It's like same thing as a BMW. You just remove the connector. You can pull with this the coil up, and that's and these are the coils. So I put an extension on a wire, and I use the oscilloscope to see how the signal look. There is no nothing wrong on the waveform. I even put there's another test you can do is I rig a regular test light to ground, which I just grab it here, and then you go with the car running close to the boot and close to all here to see if there's any like a jump in the spark when it's a rupture on the boot or on the body of the coil. Again, that was not the issue. So my next step was to check the vacuum and idle, and I noticed it was very low, and it warms up and it goes very good. So what that tells me is that we have carbon deposit on this intake. This is a GDI system. So it's very well known and common for these cars to start building carbon in there. So when it's cold, that carbon will go into the seal area of the valve. Now let us see correctly and create these misfires. The only way to get rid of that is remove the intake and manually clean that. I mean, you can use a well-known how you call that, blaster to remove that. I prefer to do it by hand, carb cleaner, rags and everything. It's gonna take pretty much the same time. So okay, so the meaning of this video will be showing you the remove and install of the intake and to clean those carbon deposits. I have not seen one of these newer models, so I'm going to post this video for that. Hope you guys like it and stay tuned. Keep up with the video. I think it's going to be very educational. Again, the diagnosis is pretty simple. I mean, if you don't have any difference on the coils, any difference on the pressure, everything should be okay. Again, it's a random misfire. Sometimes it's on 1, 2, 3, 4s. The most noticeable are 3 and 4, so I suspect those two to be the worst carbon deposits in there. I also, this is a turbo car, a turbo engine, so it's very important that you check all the intake intercooler lines and everything to the turbo. Make sure nothing is loose, because that will create a misfire, but I'll also create a problem with your MAF sensor readings, and this is not the case on these cars. Okay, So I will proceed with the repair. Hopefully you guys like it, and stay tuned. Right, I got the intake filter pretty much removing the hoses. That's the MAP sensor connector. You gotta just press and pull. This is like the PCB's valve. I removed the metal clip so it doesn't fall. It's better if you remove it. The connector for the sensor stays on the hose, as you can see there. All you gotta do is just remove that clip and pull up. Same thing with the air intake temperature sensor. Just press out the connector and pull it out. The wiring it stays there, kind of like has like a grommet is falls. It slides in. That's the booster hose. It has a press-on fitting that you have to just push in and wiggle the connector or the hose, and it comes out. That's how you got to remove it. The next thing you have to do is in the same hose for the booster. At the bottom it has a clip that you have to remove because it's attached to the air filter bottom hose. That's the one I'm pointing in there. So you just gotta remove that. Same thing in here. It's another clip that you have to remove. You use a T20, a torch 20, and then 4 grommets. So you have to remove and just pull up the filter. Remove that, and the flat screwdriver clamp at the turbo. Okay, this is pretty much what I got done now, so I will proceed. Okay, now we have the air filter out. I remove also the hose for the intake at the throttle body. Same thing as 2 flat screwdrivers, so 7 millimeters. Socket. I also remove the MAP sensor from the intake manifold. I just remove it so it doesn't break. It's just a suppressor sensor, so no problem with that. I'd rather remove it because it's very fragile. Let me show you how the hose that goes in here looks, because it has an elbow that goes to another fresh air coming in from like the cowl space. This is the one I'm talking about, and that's the hose. So let me show you how it looks in the engine. I'm just gonna put them in there so you guys can see it. That's pretty much how that goes, and the fresh air connects to that wire. Okay, same as a 7 millimeter in there. Let me show you. There is also a bolt that you need to remove. It's kind of like in the behind the throttle body. Is very important because it's a bracket that holds the the intake manifold to the engine. That is that hole that you can see. Through the glass. Like right next in between the throttle body and that cable. It's kind of like a brass color. That is the bracket in there. I already removed the bolt, so I just want to show you where it's located. It's a 10 millimeter. Very easy to get to it. It's just very hard to see, so that's what I want to point at. Okay, I also remove all the 13 millimeter nuts from the intake manifold, and I'm going to pry it out softly to see what else I need to remove. I also disconnect the pressure sensor for rail. Just make sure I'm not going to break anything. So again, I'm just going to pry on the manifold gently to remove it and see what else I need to disconnect. Alright, got the manifold out. The other things that you need to remove are 2 solenoids. One is like a PCV system, and the other one is probably the per solenoid. It's just a slide out. You don't need to disconnect it. They just had a bracket under the intake. But when you remove the intake from the engine, you can slide those. You see, that's just a rubber that you can slide out and it comes off. The other one has a hose that you have to. This clip you also have to remove. And just make sure you press that hose too. This is just a clip. This is from the auto solenoid. It's just a clip that you press and you can remove the hose. This is the connector for the throttle body. So that's the only thing that you need to remove in order to get the manifold out. And now I'm going to start cleaning the valves. I'm going to show you how that looks now. Okay, this is the manifold too. This is the brackets that I was telling you to. This is where those 2 solenoids slides. The rubber grommet slides in here, so it's one in here, and The other one, oh, that's a connector for the hose that I was telling you that you need to remove. So this is the metal bracket, um, one here and the other one in there. Just be careful with the connector for the throttle body. It's very important so you don't break it. Make sure also when you get that you make you get the new gaskets for the intake manifold. You need to replace those every time and make sure that you clean the manifold very, very good too. All right, I got the borescope here. I want to show you how these valves looking inside here. It was impossible with the mirror to show you guys, so just bear with me because this is a little hard. I gotta hold the camera with one hand and try to like position the borescope camera inside that intake packet to show you. As you can see, that's very dirty. You can see the oil and the carbon deposit through the pocket, but I wanted to show you how the valves looks. I'm on cylinder 4 right now. Let me relocate that camera better. Hopefully you guys can see. It's a lot of carbon in here, so it is very important to clean this very, very good. That bottom part is the most important. That's where valve will not seal and start giving you problems. Now you can see better. I'm approaching the camera as close as I can so you guys can see all the carbon and everything that is in there. It's really, really, really dirty. Let me reposition into the other one on the same cylinder, because it's a 2 intake valves again. You can see how dirty is everything, and at the bottom is just completely covered. So this is very, very important to clean. Again, I use carpet cleaner, rags, a pick. It's the only way you can do that. I will be showing you how that looks. Let me go to the next cylinder. That will be cylinder number 3. And it's the same thing. As you can see, it's full of carbon. The most important part is actually at the bottom of the valve. That's where you're looking in there. That's what it has to be removed. The film of oil is because it's a GDI system, so that's just the way it's going to be. It's a little hard to show you guys through a small camera. It's a video through a video, but it's just as best as I can do it right now. I think that's a better shot. Yeah, you can see very well in there how dirty this is. So again, I'm gonna start cleaning everything, and hopefully you guys stay tuned and like the video. There's nothing else to remove, so right now it's just going to be covering a little bit with the rags and use the air from the shop and carpet cleaner. I use also the greaser and the pick and a flat screwdriver. It's no dangerous in there because it's just metal in there, so you just put the pick and move around, blow air. Just make sure you use goggles because it's going to be a lot of carbon. I'm going to remove the coils and the spark plugs for this. Okay, I got cylinder 4 clean pretty much. I got the borescope again because it's the only way I can show you that. As you can see now, it's shiny at the bottom of the valve, and the whole intake packet is very, very clean. I like this borescope. It's a very clean image. As you can see, there's scratches in there. That's okay. It's not hurting anything. That's aluminum, so it's not gonna affect anything. And again, I use the shop air, towels, carpet cleaner, gum cleaner, and a pick. That's like you can see, it's 100% clean. And let me show you piston number 1 so you now can see the big difference on clean and dirty. That is the number 1 cylinder. Let me position the light better. It's a little hard with one hand and I'm sorry. Okay, so you can see the whole thing is just full of oil and carbon too. The process is you're going to take at least 2 hours, 2.5 hours. It's the only way to do it. So as you can see, the valve is just super covered of cardboard. It's unbelievable. But well, you have to do this every 40,000-50,000 miles. That all depends on how often the customer replaces the oil. Make sure your air filter is clean. That is super important. I will keep going with the process of cleaning the rest, and probably show you the end of the process a little bit farther in. I put that rag in there so when when I'm cleaning, it doesn't speed on the firewall. I'm trying to keep as clean as possible the car and the engine compartment. This is again, it's gonna take like 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Is just take your time and do it right, because otherwise it's will come back with the misfiring. So very important that you do that. All right, now I clean all the intakes. Was a lot of carbon. Let me show you just some of the towels too. Like I mean, it's just, this is just part of it. I mean, it was just full of it. I also cleaned the intake manifold. I removed the throttle body, just motor, so it doesn't get full of carburetor cleaner or engine degreaser. But you guys can see it right now. This is nice and clean. All the passages, no oil, no carbon deposit. And I cleaned just with a rag the throttle body. This is just a slight film and carbon in there, not much. So next step will be to install everything. That's probably going to be in another video, or not even in a video. I think the most important part is the remove, and to show how the process of cleaning and how it looks. So I hope you guys like the video. Don't forget to share the video and also thumbs up. And if you want to know every time I upload a video, just on the right hand side of the bottom of the video, you will see kind of like a bell. If you click in there, it will give you, like, I think it's like 3 different choices that you can have always an alarm. So every time I upload a video, you will be notified. So again, have a good day.